Lost Innocence Residential School Story. I want to get rid of the Indian problem. Our objective is to continue until there is not a single Indian in Canada that has not been absorbed into the body politic, and there is no Indian question and no Indian department. The Minister of Indian Affairs, Honorable Duncan Campbell Scott. Canada was in its infancy. There was a national cry on unity amongst its settlers. There was no need for them to rely on First Nations for knowledge of the untamed lands. Industry had dominated the culture like it had so many regions of the globe, and there was no room in a new Canada for old ways. The Indian Act would be the government's solution to solve the Indian problem. The Act defined a people. It also provided a means for swift assimilation. The government was not satisfied with the minimal progress made by the Act. The culture and language would persevere. First Nations still had their identity, and the government had to give them a new identity. If the youth are the future, then the government had control over the kind of future the First Nations would have. They were promised a better life. And what parent doesn't want the best for their child? Who doesn't want their child to succeed in this brave new world? The children would be reshaped into the image that Canada wanted. There was no room for another nation of people in this Canada. They took away more than a culture and a nation. They took away generations of innocence. Two kids, brother and sister, are running through the fields, not a care in the world. They race through the tall grass into a wooded area. Umkwiswe, the brother, runs a little ahead. Maltales stops, looking around to see where her brother went. The game begins. The land can be an unforgiving place if you do not respect it. She walks gently, observing her surroundings. Umkwe is watching from a distance, peering from behind a tree. She notices a bent branch. She also sees light, fresh footprints in the ground. On the tree, she notices a small marking, what looks like waves representing water. She knows he's close. Umkwe peers out again, but doesn't see her. He steps out of hiding, wondering where she went. Mal sneaks up behind him and startles him. Oh, I knew you'd find me.
Sure you did. I'm getting better at figuring you out. Soon you'll be reading my signs.
They share a laugh, and Umkwe looks in the direction where they should be going. They are running along a stream. They come up to a pristine lake. Watch this, sis! Umkwiswe climbs up a tree that hangs over the water. He jumps off and makes a giant splash. She looks at the water, waiting for him to surface. Nothing. She begins to worry as she doesn't see any air bubbles come up. She leans over.
Umkwe?
She's getting more concerned. Her brother jumps out of the water and splashes water all over her. Right, gotcha!
Ah, you got me all wet, you dummy.
She's sitting on the ground with water dripping off her face. She gives him a dirty glare while he's treading water. Got you back! Just then, she begins to climb up the tree. Just be careful, Ma. Oh. She loses her grip and takes a little tumble, scraping her knee. Umkwe jumps out of the water and tends to his fallen sister. She's embracing her knee with tears running down her face. Are you okay? Let me take a look at it. Oh, it's just on the surface. Your brick brother will fix you up. You'll be okay. He looks around and grabs a leaf, takes a little bit of water from the lake, and cleans the wound. There you go. Good as new. It's a good thing you got me around. He shoots her a wink. She smiles and gives him a hug.
Thanks, but you still got me wet.
She catches him off guard and pushes him in the water. Mal jumps in after him. They both emerge from the water, splashing, swimming, laughing, having a great time. Mal looks at the sun setting. Umkwe takes notice. It's getting late. Maybe we should head back. Need to help bring the wood in anyways.
Race you.
With your short legs? No problem. In their wet clothes, they proceed to run back to their cabin home. The kids come running through the bush to greet their father, who's been waiting for them. Mal runs to greet her father, only to freeze in her tracks when she notices an Indian agent just a few yards away. Umqui comes from behind her and takes notice of the agent as well, gives him a cold glare. What's going on, father? Why is he here? The father takes Umqui and his sister. You know, times are changing. Everything is not as it used to be. I remember when we used to be able to dance and share our stories with others. It's getting harder for us to share our voice. I want you to learn what you can from these people and be able to share what you've learned with us so we can better understand them. They don't listen to us anymore. We need you to be our voice now. Their knowledge could help us all better this place. Education is important, and we can only teach you so much. Learn their ways of thinking, but never forget what we've taught you about this land. She will take care of you. They both nod to their father and proceed to walk out. Umqui! He turns back and sees that his father wants to talk to him in private. Son, you're strong in mind and spirit. I've heard stories about these places, and don't let them break your spirit. Be proud of who you are and where you come from. I want you to protect your sister. Do not let any harm come to her. This will protect both of you. Keep it with you at all times. He hands him a medicine bag. Umqui nods. They are both escorted into a 1929 Ford A Tudor sedan. The agent starts the car and looks back at the kids from the rearview mirror. Ever ridden in a car before? They both don't reply and look off to their home. The father stands there, fading away as the dust covers their view. Ah, you don't even know what I'm saying, do you? Don't worry, that school's going to help you get the red out of you. Umqui puts his arms around Maul. The residential school. The car pulls up to the schoolyard. The agent steps out to greet the priest. Got a couple more souls for you to save, Father. The priest looks at the kids in the car and smiles at them. They'll make a fine addition to the flock. This should help out for your quota for the year. Well, get them registered right away. I'll file the papers for any others you have to get the money rolling in. What about those extra teachers? Don't worry about it. He takes the kids into church for registration. Sister, can you please assist me in this matter? Their rags need to be thrown away and bring in some fresh garments. Maul holds on tight to her brother's hand. He doesn't like the cold feel of this place. The priest pours holy water on them, blesses them with the sign of the cross. I baptize you, David, in the name of the Holy Ghosts. And I baptize you, Mary, in the name of the Holy Ghosts. The nun writes down their new names on a form and gives the kids fresh linen and uniforms. In the dark and dank hallways, the nun separates the two. She struggles with Maul since she does not want to let go of her brother's hand, fearing she'll never see him again.
Let go of him. Boys are not allowed where you're going.
Don't leave me.
The nun is about to slap Maul's hand so that she'll release her brother's grasp. Umqui grabs the nun's hand, squeezing it tight, and gives her a deep look of disapproval. The nun grabs a stick and whacks his hand to release her. Umqui lunges at his sister to quickly whisper in her ear, Be strong, sister. Don't let them break your spirit. As the nun takes a swing to his other hand, Maul sweeps for her brother as the nun takes her away. The priest holds on to Umqui as the nun takes Maul away. Sister! Worry not, sister. I'll bring this one to his quarters. Fret not, child. You are in God's house now. The Lord will look after you and your sister now. The priest escorts him to his lodgings. It's a dark-lit corridor. The wood creaks with every step. The priest has his hand on Umqui's shoulder the whole time. The priest pulls out a huge key ring. He fingers through the keys and unlocks the door. The door creaks open. The light that enters the room reveals the 2 rows of bunk beds, one on each side of the wall. The kids are sleeping. David, you are bed number 27. Do not wake the others. We have a big day ahead of us tomorrow. Umqui slowly walks to the only vacant bed and assumes it's his. The door closes with a thud. Before he even gets to his bed, he hears the priest lock the door.